Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Fictional Character Motivation. I'm your host, Quan, and today we want to go a little, a bit little sappy today, a bit little romantic today, and we're talking about the Netflix movie that came from a book, All the Bright Places, on seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary and becoming aware of mental health. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. And here we go. All the Bright Places came out earlier this year in February. After meeting each other, two people struggle with the emotional and physical scars of their past. They discover that even the smallest moments can mean something. So, to be real with you for a few seconds, even though I'm always real with y'all. Saw this movie, and not gonna lie, at the end credits, at the end credits, like after the end credits, literally I started tearing up. Literally, it just awoke an emotion in me to slightly start tear up. I'm not gonna lie, it was there, and that's a secret you'll take, right? No, I'm playing. It's okay. I'm a man. I can deal with emotion. I'm cool with emotion. But to go deeper into this is we have Violet, senior in high school that survived a car accident, but her sister didn't. She feels guilty, loneliness, and has had a suicidal thought. We have Theodore, also a senior in high school, that has survived physical abuse from his father, is bipolar and suffers depression from it, and has also had some suicidal thoughts. Two broken people, but one who's already saw and sort of stopped what the other one was going to do. It's in the story, but you'll see what I mean if you watch this movie. You sort of pretty much see one of them stop what the other person is doing, and they start working together on a project. Start working with each other with because of a school project. Theodore has a growing curiosity and attraction to Violet that makes her wonder why until after a few trips and after a few serious conversations, it's too late because she's into him as much as he's into her. And the school project is to find two extraordinary things in their state, which leads them on their journey to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. So, first off, we're just going to how can we see the extraordinary in the ordinary? Well, I have a couple of ideas. So, if I mess with mine, first idea I want you to do is look without taking stuff for granted. In a way, look, see through the eyes of wonder, like a kid. For instance, one of the amazing things that we might take for granted, but shouldn't, is this right here. The ability that I can be talking to anyone who listens to this video and almost as if I'm right beside them, almost as if I'm right in front of them, and not technically be there. Think about that. The fact that when you have a phone call, that you literally answer this small little mechanical box, and as soon as you answer it, it can be a friend, it can be a missed call, a stranger. As much as we want to regret it now, it could be a political text, a political call. It could be any of those, but we're literally talking to someone when they're not here. Think about a car or plane, for instance. We get into a metal object with wheels and a battery and some electrical stuff. And within a couple of minutes to maybe an hour or more, we arrive at a different place. Think about how awesome that is. Let that land for a minute. Think about the possibility, even though we just go through it every day, it's like this is the car. Like, no, break it down into like to you wonder about. Like I can get into this thing and within a few minutes to an hour, I can be somewhere else. I can be somewhere else. Let that hit, please. Same with the phone, same with Zoom, same with this YouTube, same with anything. Even with same with podcasts. That you can hear my voice as if I'm right beside you, but I'm not. Let that land. Even with life. Life is a weird batch of synchronicities and just being there. Like, for instance, I mean, if we're talking about pretty much being life in general, being alive, it's been statistically shown that we, from like multiple people, talked about multiple people. Gary Vaynerchuk, Eddie Griffin has mentioned this, that we're 1 in 1 billion, maybe 2 billion, maybe 3 billion chance of being here. Think about that. That we had that low of a chance of being here. And yet we defied the odds and we're here. And I salute you for being here. I thank you for being here. That means you made it. And even then, the synchronicities of life. I mean, just think about how, that you thought about something and then something happened. What are the odds? That you're roaming through a park and you see those people. Not different people, not even the usual suspects, that you see those people. Think about that. And the second thing I would advise is to see the extraordinary in the ordinary, is change up your routine a little bit. If there's a simple way you usually go at work, leave a little bit early, try a different way. If there's a coffee shop you usually go to a different coffee shop, go to another shop. I mean, there are so many ways you can spice up just your regular routine just by taking possibly a different route or going to a different place. Um, I remember me walking with a friend of mine through this neighborhood that we've walked through before, and on the one hand, we've mostly walked through it. Like me and him were walkers. Like me and him literally walked the whole of Athens. I remember my hometown. I know most of Athens because I literally walked every inch of it at one point in time. I did sidewalks, went through trails. I did all that. I did. I kind of miss it actually, but there was one time where we took a right instead of a left. Then we took another right instead of a left, and then guess what? We appeared at this pink flower bush, this tree. It was like all pretty, and the sunlight was hitting it just right. And if we took our regular route walking, we wouldn't have saw it. But he wanted to take a different route, and because that different route led to a different result, led to a different extraordinary event, led to a different awe kind of thing. So let that sink in. So with seeing the extraordinary, see with wonder, break it down. Don't take it for granted. Look at everything and see how you can break it down to like how I did, to make it seem like it's a wonder to look at it. A car is not a car. It is a metal box with wheels, with an engine, with electronics, that if you sit in it, steer it, press your foot against something for a few minutes to an hour and break every now and then, you will be somewhere else. Think about that. You can be somewhere else and get out your routine. Do something different. Take a different route. Go to a different store. Go to a place you haven't been to. It used to be a big habit of mine that every now and then I'd go to a new restaurant, a restaurant I haven't been to. Why? Because I wanted to try something different. Because I wanted to see what that store offered. I want to see what makes this food better than another place's food. Let that land for a bit. And to end it all today, we'll be pretty much going over a little bit of mental health. Famous quote to go through is be kind. Yeah, be kind to everyone, for we are all fighting a battle that we may not understand. And when it comes to mental health, whether it's depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, um, anything like that, I know the ranges go from everywhere. Is that pretty much we are all haunted by demons, by ghosts, by heavy failures, and unresolved rejections. And that's true. And as you know me, I like to give a little epic spin on some of the things that we may not forget that have affected us. That's why I call it haunted by demons, by ghosts. Because in a way, it kind of is, you know. Sometimes it shows up unexpectedly, and sometimes it shows up when you do X, Y, and Z. It happens. It happens. And we're all facing one another. We're all having a sense of anxiety, a sense of caution, a sense of paranoia. We're all experiencing some kind of depression. We're all experiencing some kind of loneliness. It happens. It's there. But to deny it is the worst thing you could do. And some of us can handle it on our own, and other times we need more help. We need medication. We need other things. So if you are one of the few, which that few can be growing, that experiences any kind of mental health, that experiences any haunting of a certain demon, of a certain ghost, by a certain heavy failure, by a certain unresolved rejection, any of those, here's a few things that I want you to do. First thing is get the help you need. If you can handle this on your own, if you know what to do, you know how to do it, by all means, please do it. But at the same time, just make sure you look at all the options too. Because yes, doing it by yourself is pretty badass. I'll give you that. But when it comes to this, go for something that's efficient. Go for something that's going to be stronger than that. As one of the African proverbs have been said, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go longer, go with a group. Go with people. And pretty much this applies to this mental health, to where like sometimes you may feel like you can handle it alone, but if you want to completely knock it out, you may need people, you may need medication, you may need some people, you may need something on the side. Which goes to my next tip is talk to someone about it. Talk to a group. I'm a firm believer in venting. Um, Whether it's pretty much talking to someone about what you're going through or splaying it out on the net. I know it may not seem attractive, or it may not seem as the most efficient, effective way to do it, but sometimes let people do what they need to do. I mean, with me, uh, I usually have to vent I'm, whenever I'm either one of those stages, and I vent in certain ways. Like when I'm angry, I have to do a workout. Have to. Have to expel that energy immediately. When I'm a little bit sad, I may pretty much stew in it for a little bit, and maybe play some sad music. And then after that, I kind of crank it up to something more positive, and I crank it up to something more upbeat, you know. If I'm feeling lonely, maybe the same thing. I may just reach out and talk to somebody. And if you're pretty much shy and lonely, then you have to choose one of the two. If you are not much of a talker but you're lonely, either I would suggest you reach out to someone one way or another, or you at least talk to someone, whether it's your roommate or something. It's good to it's good to not have those feelings kept up. Like I said, I'm a firm believer of venting. So please, by all means, do that. And the last tip I want everyone to know that's going through any kind of mental health issues or anything of that nature is you are not alone in this. Besides me giving, yeah, besides me giving you my most awesome support, my most, my pretty much my craziest open door policy of just like if you have something you want to talk about, please just send me a message and I'll talk to you. Besides that, know that you're not the only one experiencing this. If you are experiencing this, then odds are there's probably a million people that are experiencing this. And the thing is that maybe some people are willing to talk about it just as much as there's the other side of where people don't feel like they want to talk about it. They'll be like, nah, I'll scuff it off to like they don't even register what it is. So it's it's always a pretty much a good focus that know that you're not to know that you're not alone in this feeling. And sometimes it's good to search those people out and talk to them and see how they're going through it. But at the basis of it, whether somebody has it or not, know that you're not alone in this. With me included, I think you probably have a couple people that are supporting you through this that you can talk to about this. That can be your support structure that can help you get through this. So, with that being said, I hope all of this landed for somebody. Please let me know if it did. If it did, um, please, I guess, send thanks by liking this episode or by following my channel or my podcast channel. My YouTube channel is Mind of Quan. Follow me. I try to put out these videos 3, 4 times a week, depending on what happens. And on my podcast, I call it fictional character motivation. I try to put out those at the same amount of time. My schedule is a little bit wonky, but know that I'll make it up by the end of the week, which means I might be trying to make the next 2 to 3 videos this week because I kind of slacked a little bit, but know that it's coming. It's on the way, so be prepared for it. I like to pretty much make sure that y'all have enough content from me because with the few listeners that I have, the few people that said you affected me, that you riled me up, that you are awesome, I try to do it for them. I'm not looking for a big following, although that'd be awesome because that means if I had a big following, that means I'd be affecting that many people. But I'm just looking for just to help out a few people to keep going, to get their morale boosted, and to be, the speaker that tells them to, hey, stick out one more day or give this a shot and see what happens. But I'm your host, Quan. Hope everyone's doing awesome today. And deuces.